I have a fancy new club in my hand, and yesterday I got to hang out with my local Cobra rep, talk all things club fitting, and it sparked a little bit in me to talk about club fitting today. When is the right time to get a fitting? I don't think there's a perfect answer, but I want to give you my opinion on what you should do if you want to buy new clubs. First things first, if you want to buy new clubs, go buy them. I have made this mistake in the past with people trying to defer their club fitting until later, until they've built some more skills and stuff like that. They'll just go down to like a Dick's Sporting Goods or buy some clubs online. I've kind of had to think through it like this. Like if you want something new, a new car, a new house, new clubs, and you really want it, like just go get that thing, assuming you can make it work financially. So if you want new clubs, go get new clubs. But in a perfect world, there's more to that discussion and many layers to it. If we existed in a perfect world and you were a new client coming to me and we were working through the improvement process, first thing we would do is sit down and assess, how is your game? What is the state of the union? Where do you sit today? And then we'd make a plan from there. Part of that plan would include, how bad are your fundamentals? What are the things you're lacking at? Why aren't you striking the ball the way you'd like to strike it? Why are you struggling with your predictability? We'd go through all these things. We talk about the sports you've played, your background, so on and so forth, and we get to know where you sit. So these are all questions you can ask yourself. Where am I at? Where do I want to go? And what's next for me in my golf game? In a perfect world, we would get some basic skills first, meaning that if we had any fundamental work, which is 99.5% of people I see, if we have fundamental work, we're going to get those fundamentals down the road and get basic skeleton of those fundamentals installed in your golf swing. That may mean learning to turn more efficiently, learning to turn more with your hips, learning to turn more centered, learning to have a better weight shift, that sort of thing. But we're going to get that to a point at which we have at least the skeleton of it existing or installed into the swing. And then from that point, we could assess, hey, what is the equipment that could best support your golf game? Let me give you like my quick disclaimer on equipment. Equipment or golf clubs isn't going to reinvent your game. It's going to help you polish the surfaces. You could think of it like a rough cut diamond. A rough cut diamond comes out like a rough cut diamond. It's still a sweet piece of, mineral or whatever we call it. If we polish it, it gets sweeter. And that's what clubs can do for you if you have ill-fit clubs. It will make your game sweeter. Now, you give a top-tier player hickory shafted clubs, they're still going to go do really well. They have the ability to play well because they've built skills. Skills are built over time. That being said, new clubs are fun. And like I said earlier, if you want them, get them. But if you live in a perfect world, let's get the fundamentals installed first. One thing I wanted to say too is you cannot fit for a shitty golf swing. You kind of can, but it's generic. It's not custom. I guess what I'm speaking to here is more of a custom club fitting. Getting clubs that are tailor fit for you so they can complement you and work best for you. Now, a generic club fitting would be like, hey, what's your build? What's your handicap? Here's the clubs that could support that. A custom club fitting would be more like, hey, let's watch your swing. Let's get some readings. Let's figure out what your current equipment does. And then how can we make that better for you based on distance or dispersion or whatever combination of things you're looking for with your golf game. So that would be like custom versus generic. You can't fit a shitty golf swing. You really can't. Like if someone comes way outside in, you're going to fit them like 6, 7, 8, 9 degrees upright. And at that point, you're really manipulating the club to try to make it work for the swing that's just not functional. In a perfect world, we get that swing functional. We get you hitting ball first. We get your club approaching the golf ball from the inside of the golf ball. We have the skeleton of how you move so you understand it. We know where you're going. And then we do a club fitting. If your clubs are more than 5 years old, you're also a really good candidate for a club fitting. It's very likely that modern technology will help you improve, whether that's distance or dispersion. And if we're to break club fitting down as a whole, it's trying to optimize the clubs to complement your golf game. That's a combination of distance, dispersion, aesthetics, and confidence. You want to have all those things. If we're drawing like a Venn diagram, we want to have the thing that meets in the middle, because you want to be able to look at your clubs and have confidence in them. You want to like the aesthetics of them. You want them to help you with your distance. You want them to help you with your dispersion. A really well-fit club, I'll watch dispersion circles shrink in half, irons or driver. It's not uncommon to watch dispersion circles shrink in half. Or if a player's playing clubs that are more than 5 years old, to watch them pick up 15 or 20 or 25 or 30 yards. Or occasionally even more than that if the clubs are old and you find that fit that is oh so sweet. Now, the cool thing about this podcast is I get to kick it 100% real with you and tell you that most of what club companies tell you is marketing based, meaning that their job is to sell clubs. And props to them, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just important as consumers or as people that want to buy them, we understand that, because there's no way you can compound the distance year after year that they advertise. You can't pick up 20 yards every year for 10 years running. It doesn't work that way. If you go to a local fitter that's going to do a custom fitting for you, what you can expect with a well-fit club is that your ball will launch better. You'll have tighter dispersion circles, and sometimes you'll pick up more distance. And distance may not be what you need, particularly if you're talking about irons. Irons are more about precision. Drivers are about distance and precision. It's the start of a new year. A lot of people are thinking about buying clubs. Should you buy them? Well, hopefully we've answered some of that today. A lot of it depends on where you're at, what you want, and what you're looking for, and what your budget is. Definitely don't buy clubs if they put a financial stress on you or your relationship. At the end of the day, investing in your golf and your golf skills is probably going to give you the best return on your time and money. But like I talked about earlier, new equipment, especially well-fit custom equipment, can complement your golf game. One note on custom equipment, a lot of times it doesn't cost you more to buy it custom. Unless you're getting upcharges with grips or shafts, often it's the same price as you would pay through your major vendors online. But the manufacturers will build it, ship it to your local fitter, and then you pick it up directly for them for very similar cost to what you would buy it for through big box type retailers. So there's another perk of club fitting for you. I think you should get fit. If you're going to time it perfectly, get your skeleton of your golf swing built. Go do your fitting after that. If you want clubs, go get them. If you have a shitty golf swing, remember you cannot fit for a shitty golf swing. It just doesn't work. Let me know if you have any ideas for next week's podcast. Leave this thing a review. If you're watching for it on YouTube, smash the subscribe button. Looking forward to having a great 2023. Let's make 2023 your best golf year yet.